My boy, the world can be very loud. There's the clamor for attention, the need to fill every moment with distractions, and the constant pressure to chase whatever is on the horizon. But a Stoic man doesn't chase after things. No. He understands that true strength doesn't come from what you pursue, but from what you do in the quiet moments when no one is watching. He knows that it's in these moments that greatness is forged. So let me tell you something about a Stoic man. He doesn't chase, he builds. And the foundation of that strength, it all starts with solitude. They say that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Well, the same goes for solitude. Most men shy away from it. They're scared of facing themselves, of confronting the demons in the quiet of their mind. So they run to distractions, throwing themselves into a frenzy of activity to avoid the emptiness within. But a Stoic man, he doesn't fear solitude, he embraces it. And you should too. Embrace the emptiness because that's where your strength will grow. Solitude is not emptiness. It's a forge, a place where the raw material of your being is refined, purified, and strengthened. It's in this crucible of solitude that the tough gets going and the weak breaks down. Don't misunderstand it. I'm not saying that a Stoic man isolates himself for the sake of it. He doesn't withdraw from the world just to play a lone wolf. That's not the point. The Stoic man, he has a purpose, a mission to fulfill. But he understands that to fulfill that mission, he needs to spend time in solitude. He needs to sharpen his mind, refine his thoughts, and strengthen his spirit. Because the world is a dangerous place for a weak mind. But for a man who has spent time in the solitude forge, he is ready. His mind is like a finely honed blade, and he can face whatever challenges come his way with confidence and grace. Marcus Aurelius said it beautifully. He who has overcome his small self can overcome anything, and he who is not free from his small self has overcome nothing. That's the power of solitude. It strips away all the pretense, all the distractions, and leaves you standing there in your true form. It's in this state of being that you can confront your demons, your fears, your insecurities, and ultimately overcome them. You see, a Stoic man doesn't let his emotions control him. He knows that in the heat of the moment, anger and fear can cloud our judgment and lead us astray. So he takes the time to step back, to clear his mind and to approach the situation rationally. This is the essence of the Stoic ideal. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about mastering them, about using them to our advantage rather than letting them control us. When you have mastered yourself, you are truly free. You become the master of your own destiny. Your actions no longer driven by the whims of your emotions, but by the clarity of your mind and the strength of your character. You become unstoppable. Here's the thing. Most men never experience this kind of freedom. They remain slaves to their emotions, constantly at the mercy of whatever feeling happens to come along. But a Stoic man, he refuses to be a slave. He chooses to be a master. And it all starts with embracing solitude. Think of the greatest empires built in solitude. Think of the monumental works of art created in solitude. Think of the groundbreaking discoveries made in solitude. Greatness is not born in the chaos and noise of the world, but in the quiet moments of solitude. It's in these moments that we can truly focus our minds, sharpen our tools, and lay the foundation for what will become something great. The same holds true for your personal growth. If you want to become the best version of yourself, if you want to achieve your full potential, then you need to embrace solitude. It's in the solitude forge that you can truly become who you are meant to be. You must understand that a Stoic man does not tolerate boredom. Boredom is a sign of a weak mind. A Stoic man always has something to work on, some book to read, some skill to improve. He is always learning, always growing. He never wastes time doing nothing. A friend once told me something that changed my perspective on solitude. He said, "Solitude is not emptiness. It's the space where creativity is born, where innovation happens. It's where ideas come to life." And I realized he was right. Solitude is not something to be feared or avoided. It's something to be embraced and cherished. It's in the quiet moments of solitude that we can truly connect with ourselves, with our purpose, and with the world around us. It's hard to think of a quality more fundamental to the Stoics than solitude. Even Seneca, the Roman philosopher, once wrote, "All the time you possess is truly yours." But how often do we squander it? You know what I'm talking about. Those moments when you find yourself daydreaming or lost in mindless chatter. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and waste precious time. That's why the Stoics held solitude in such high regard. They understood that it's in these moments of quiet reflection that we can truly connect with ourselves and our purpose. By taking the time to be present in the moment and savoring it fully, we can make the most of our time and live a life that is rich and meaningful. I know it's easier said than done. We live in a world that glorifies busyness and often leaves little room for stillness. But that's why it's so important to make a conscious effort to carve out moments of solitude in our lives. It could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths and focusing on the present moment, or setting aside time each day to reflect on your goals and priorities. Whatever form it takes, the key is to make it a priority. You might be thinking, what if I'm not alone? What if I'm surrounded by people? You misunderstand. Solitude is not about physical isolation. It's about mental isolation. It's about turning off the noise of the world and tuning into the quiet voice within. You can be in a crowded room and still be in solitude. It's all about focusing your mind and quieting the distractions. With practice, you'll find that you can enter into solitude whenever you need to, no matter where you are. This ability to find stillness in the midst of chaos is a valuable skill, one that will serve you well in all areas of your life. So, don't fear solitude. Let it be your refuge, your source of strength and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So, choose wisely, my son. Choose to think thoughts that are constructive, positive, and empowering. Choose to use your mind to create a life that you are proud of. A Stoic man doesn't chase external validation. He finds his validation within. He has a strong sense of self-worth that doesn't depend on other people's opinions. He doesn't seek approval because he already approves of himself. He's not afraid to be vulnerable, because he knows that vulnerability is the birthplace of strength. He's not afraid to be alone because he knows that solitude is where greatness is born. He doesn't need external motivation because he has internal motivation. He doesn't need a reason to do the right thing. He simply does it because it's the right thing to do. Remember, a Stoic man doesn't chase after things. He builds. He doesn't seek validation. He creates it. He doesn't complain. He solves. He doesn't shy away from challenges. He embraces them. He doesn't chase external motivation. He digs deep within himself. And that's where his strength lies. That's where your strength lies. Do not misunderstand it. I am not saying that a Stoic man never chases. There is a time and place for everything. But the Stoic man is selective about what he doesn't chase after everything that catches his fancy. He doesn't chase after things just for the sake of chasing. He has a purpose, a mission to fulfill, and he only chases things that align with that purpose. As the great Seneca said, life is not short, but we waste a lot of it. We waste a lot of our time chasing things that don't matter, things that don't align with our purpose. But a Stoic man, he doesn't waste time. He values his time too much. He knows that time is the most precious commodity, and he uses it wisely. He doesn't chase after every shiny object that comes his way. He stays focused on his purpose, and he pursues things that align with that purpose. Do not misunderstand it. Being a Stoic man is not about being emotionless. It's about being in control of your emotions. It's about being able to separate your emotions from your decisions. A Stoic man feels emotions, but he doesn't let his emotions control him. He doesn't let his emotions dictate his actions. He knows that emotions are powerful forces, but he also knows that they can be dangerous if they're not kept in check. And that's why a Stoic man spends time alone. It's not because he's bored or lonely. It's because he wants to be in control of his emotions. He doesn't want his emotions to control him. He wants to be able to think clearly and make rational decisions. Discipline is forged in private. The applause doesn't make you disciplined. It's the small things you do every day that truly test your discipline. Waking up early when no one is watching. Resisting that urge to indulge when no one is looking. Staying committed to your goals when there is no immediate reward. That's where the real test of discipline lies. And that's where a Stoic man excels. He doesn't need the applause of the crowd to stay motivated. He doesn't need external validation to stay committed. He has an internal fire that burns within him, a fire that fuels his discipline and drives him to greatness. The greatest threat to our well-being, to our happiness, and to our success in life is ourselves. And so learning how to lead ourselves is perhaps the most important skill we can ever acquire. Welcome to this channel. Now it's time to go into part 2, because before you can lead other people, you have to learn how to lead yourself. This is where your story truly begins. So pay close attention, because what you do with this knowledge will determine everything. No. 1. Build before you bond. See, most guys today chase after connection because they're scared of being alone. They're afraid of the dark, afraid of their own company, afraid of facing life without someone there beside them. Now, some might say, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. But that's a weak-minded perspective, one that is born out of loneliness and fear. You didn't love, you merely clung to another human being for dear life, because you couldn't stand the thought of being on your own. That's attachment, not love. Love is when your cup is already full, and so you pour out more for others because you have an abundance of it, not because you need it. Clinging to something or someone out of fear is a sign of weakness, insecurity, and low. It also tends to be the downfall of most relationships. It suffocates the other person, making them feel trapped, burdened, exhausted, eventually driving them away. What happens then? You find yourself right back where you started, chasing after the next goal, seeking that connection and belonging that you think will complete you, only to find yourself disappointed and alone once again. Here's the difference between the modern man and the Stoic man. The modern man chases connection because he's scared of being alone. The Stoic man builds first. He builds himself up emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He builds a life and a career that he's proud of. He builds a strong body and a sharp mind. And then he invites in those people and those relationships that align with his values and who add to his life. This is why you always have to remember, relationships are additions, not definitions. You are not incomplete without them. You are whole unto yourself. There is no gap within you that needs to be filled. In fact, if you come to a relationship looking to be completed, you will bring nothing but weakness and emotional baggage to it. Because a whole man doesn't seek completion. He brings strength, which brings us to know. 2. A whole man doesn't seek completion. Listen, the moment you start viewing women as some sort of pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the moment you start seeing them as the answer to some unfixable problem in your life, then you're going to get burned. As relationships are additions, not definitions. They are also completions, not continuations. When you enter a relationship, your life is going to change. Things are going to shift. Priorities are going to alter. And that's by design. The reason why relationships are so powerful, the reason why they affect us so deeply is because they force us to prioritize another human being in our lives. We can't just focus on ourselves anymore. We have to consider another person and the effect our actions have on them. And that's a beautiful thing when you meet someone who is able to elevate you to be a better man, to become the best version of yourself. But if you come to a relationship looking for completion, looking for someone to finish what you started, then you are sorely mistaken. You are not a project that needs to be completed. You are a human being that needs to keep growing, evolving, becoming more. And relationships should be about partnership, not completion. 3. Discipline over desire. It's very hard to be free when we live in a society geared towards instant gratification. Every waking moment, we are bombarded with advertisements telling us to buy things we don't need. With music that glorifies debauchery and promiscuity. With TV shows that encourage addictive habits and destructive behaviors. With social media, which constantly feeds our ego and vanity. Everything is designed to enslave us, to desire. The Stoic man is a warrior. He's a warrior who wages war against his own mind. He fights the good fight against the demons and the dark impulses that threaten to drag him down into the mud. He says no to himself when no needs to be said. He disciplines himself when he doesn't want to. He chooses virtue over vice every single day. Because the Stoic knows that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. In the words of Epictetus, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Therefore, when you turn toward the things which are in your control, ask yourself, is this essential? Is it necessary? Or is it simply a hindrance? For he chooses alignment, not approval. Let me tell you something that has been kept hidden for far too long. Men, you are not here to make everyone happy. You're not here to please people or to fulfill their expectations. You are not here to be liked or accepted by everyone around you. You are here to walk your path, to forge your own way in this world, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Listen closely. The Stoic man does not seek approval from other people, because he does not rely on it to validate his sense of self-worth. No. He knows that his value is inherent. It comes from within. It's rooted in his principles and his unwavering commitment to doing what's right. So when the applause of the crowd fades away, when the cheers and accolades no longer echo in his ears, he remains steadfast. He continues to do what he believes in. He stands firm in the face of adversity because he knows that true fulfillment comes not from the fickle approval of others, but from the alignment of his actions with his deepest sense of purpose and meaning. We must all suffer from the approval of others, the habit of seeking outside for our peace of mind instead of finding it within ourselves. So remember, Bruce, do not bend your head to the winds of change. Stay true to yourself. Walk your path, even if it goes against the grain, even if it means standing alone. Don't compromise your principles. Don't waver on your beliefs. Do not seek the approval of others. Instead, seek alignment. Align yourself with your purpose, with your values, with the kind of man you want to be. Let that be your guiding star, your North Star. Follow it, chase it, pursue it with everything you've got. And in doing so, you will find that the applause of others becomes irrelevant, because you will be too busy basking in the glow of your own self-approval, knowing that you have lived a life true to yourself. The quiet man is a study in contrasts. People hear what they want to hear, see what they want to see, and misunderstand what they can't see. To truly understand him, we must turn down the volume on the world and turn up the volume on our intuition. Today, let's explore how the quiet man builds an unshakable life in Part 3. Quiet power. He doesn't need a therapist. Emotional independence is his superpower. He doesn't outsource peace. He carries it within. He responds with reason, not reactivity. He doesn't seek validation from the world. He grounds himself in principles. When storms brew, he stands firm, anchored by inner strength. While others lash out in anger or confusion, he navigates with calm clarity, weathering any tempest that comes his way. The quiet man understands that true power lies not in external displays, but in the mastery of self. He doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve or broadcast his emotions for all to see. Instead, he keeps a steady emotional course, navigating life's currents with grace and resilience. He's not playing for the crowd. He works in silence, not for applause. He doesn't broadcast his grind. The quiet man focuses on what's in front of him, working diligently without the need to show the world every step he takes. For him, the journey is inward, the destination outward success. He tunes out distractions, blocking the noise that could derail his focus. He's not climbing the ladder for everyone to see, but quietly, steadily making progress that will eventually speak for itself. Mastery is his goal, not attention. He understands that when you work in silence, the results speak volumes. So he lets his achievements do the talking. While he remains focused on the next move, he doesn't crave applause because he knows that true fulfillment comes from within. He has no expectations. Relationships are optional. Purpose is not. The quiet man lives by his mission, not by other people's expectations. He approaches each relationship with a clear understanding of his own needs and boundaries. If a connection aligns with his purpose, he dives in, giving it his full attention and loyalty. But if it strays from his path, he doesn't hesitate to release it, even if it means walking away from people who once meant a lot. He isn't afraid to walk alone, because he carries the strength of his solitude within him. This doesn't make him antisocial. Instead, it makes him incredibly selective, choosing quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. He doesn't fear being misunderstood or judged for letting go. He knows that sometimes the hardest thing is also the right thing to do. And when he does find connections that resonate with his mission, he becomes a steadfast, loyal friend, someone who can be counted on to keep his word and stand by your side through thick and thin. He doesn't defend himself. He's comfortable being misunderstood. The quiet man doesn't feel the need to explain his silence, his solitude, or his unwavering focus. He doesn't waste energy justifying his choices or defending his peace. He simply walks his path, letting his actions speak for him. In a world that often misunderstands quiet strength, he remains unfazed. Others may not get him, but he doesn't need their approval to validate his journey. Instead, he trusts his intuition, knowing that it guides him towards what's meaningful. He understands that the journey is his own and that trying to make others understand his path is futile. So he walks on, comfortable in his aloneness, content to let the whispers of misunderstanding fade away into the distance. And as he walks, he becomes more himself, embracing the freedom that comes from shedding the need for external validation. He understands what others don't. Stillness reveals what noise hides. The quiet man finds solace in the stillness, for it's in the absence of noise that truth emerges. When the world around him is silent, he listens intently, tuning in to the subtle whispers that carry profound truths. It's in these quiet moments that he gains clarity, understanding what others might miss. He sees what's important, what needs healing, and what needs to be built up. The quiet man recognizes that sometimes the loudest sounds drown out the most important voices. So he seeks the quiet, embracing the stillness as a source of wisdom and insight. He guards his peace. He guards his peace like a fortress. The quiet man approaches life with a warrior's mindset, fiercely protective of his inner peace. He fortifies his mind, emotions, and spirit, creating a sanctuary within that remains impervious to outside disturbances. He sets strict boundaries, ensuring that his energy isn't squandered on petty conflicts, meaningless pursuits, or toxic relationships. The quiet man understands the value of his internal harmony, and won't compromise it for fleeting external pleasures or the approval of others. His focus remains steadfast, unwavering in the face of challenges and distractions. He knows that true strength lies in maintaining inner tranquility amidst life's chaos, and he guards his peace like a fortress, allowing nothing to penetrate the walls he's built so carefully. He leads himself first. The quiet man acknowledges that true leadership begins with oneself. Before leading others, he masters self, understanding that the ability to govern one's own thoughts, emotions, energy, and actions is fundamental to effective leadership. He doesn't seek positions of authority just for the sake of power, but rather because he wants to use his influence to make a positive impact. The quiet man governs his time, his emotions, and his energy, ensuring that his internal state aligns with the message he wants to convey. He doesn't succumb to the urge to control those around him, but instead inspires and guides, leading by example. For the quiet man, self-mastery is the bedrock of all leadership, and he approaches it with the same level of focus and dedication he brings to every aspect of his life. He says very little. Silence is his final word. The quiet man speaks with purpose. His words are carefully chosen, carrying weight and significance. He doesn't engage in idle chatter or small talk, preferring instead to listen and observe, gathering information before forming his thoughts. When he does speak, his words resonate with those around him, leaving a lasting impression. He understands the power of silence and uses it to his advantage, letting his actions and few words speak volumes about his character and intentions. Sometimes the most powerful thing he says is nothing at all. His silence can be deafening, sending a message that he doesn't tolerate nonsense or disrespect. In a world that often values those who speak the loudest, the quiet man stands out. He proves that true power lies not in empty words, but in thoughtful, intentional communication. So ask yourself, where in your life are you still chasing? And where can you begin building? Your focus, your peace, your discipline. These are not for display. They are for fortifying the foundation of your unshakable life. Now go and build that unshakable life, brick by brick, silently, steadily, and powerfully. And remember, the quiet man may seem calm and reserved, but beneath the surface lies a powerhouse of emotions, thoughts, and experiences. He may not always show it, but he's as complex and dynamic as anyone else. So, don't underestimate the quiet man. He's not as simple as he appears. There's a depth to him that many people fail to see. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments how you found this video and what you think about the quiet man. Your feedback is greatly appreciated and helps me create more videos like this one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on new content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.